Hello, everyone. My name is Sean Policino with the Real World of Real Estate. I'm going to go ahead and get my Clubhouse link started and get some of the live streams going. Just wanted to say welcome to the show, and I'm so glad that you're here. I'm just going to go ahead and do the intro video. We'll see you on the other side of it. Welcome to the Real World of Real Estate. My name is Sean Policino. I'm your host, and we are starting another week off with the 3 proven ways that you can prevent your friends from listing their home to sell with somebody else. The worst thing you can be is a secret agent. So we're going to talk today about how not to be a secret agent to your friends and family and ex-coworkers, and other people that know you. And so we're going to share some proven strategies that will work. So welcome to the show. I'm going to go ahead and unshare my screen real fast here for you. My name is Sean Policino. I've been in real estate for 16 years. I have sold 36 homes my first year, and I've averaged between 35 and 45 homes a year every year since, 37 actually to be exact. I came out of the auto industry and I worked in the military before that. I have 4 kids, live in Los Angeles, and started a real estate podcast about 3 weeks ago. So we're in my 3rd week and just sharing strategies and tips and tricks and tools and things that work for me in my real estate business. Now, there are agents out there that sell more real estate than me, but what I can share with you is I've been able to build a consistency around selling real estate and an income typically between $250,000 and $500,000 every year for the last 16 years. And that's something that's challenging to do. So we are on many platforms today. We are on Zoom. We are on, let's see here. There we go. We are on Zoom. We are on YouTube. We're on TikTok. We're on Facebook. We're on, I said YouTube already. We're on Twitter, as well as LinkedIn today. And on Zoom platform, we are also posting our podcasts up on Spotify, Amazon Music, and iTunes. So you can find us there. If you missed the show live, we're 2 p.m. Pacific time daily, Monday through Friday. There, of course, will be some days in there that I'm going to have to post a recording versus live, but I'm attempting to make the show a live show where you can call in at 818-338-8787, or come into on Zoom and chat with us, join the panel, join as a panelist, and we can talk about your real live real estate issues. If you need help around a certain strategy or a certain piece of technology that you're using in your real estate business, I would love to be an assistance to you in that way. I'm also a coach for Icon Coaching. So if you go to iconcoaching.com, you can see any one of our coaching products and programs and training that are offered there. My business partner is Sean Kukoska. Sean has sold over $1 billion in real estate in Denver, Colorado. Him and his mother were the #1 real estate team in Denver, Colorado. So we are business partners and are both involved in Icon Coaching as well as eXp Realty. So if you'd like to meet with one of us or both of us, you can call me, schedule with me at calendly.com/Sean Policino, or give us a call at 818-338-8787. Would love to spend some time helping you with a problem you're having in your real estate business. So a little bit more, just a quick little bio on the show there for you is up on the screen now. Like I said, 2 p.m. Pacific time each day. It is a free podcast, so you can schedule there. Like I said, you can find us on all those channels. So what are some strategies? So the 3 proven strategies that have worked in my business that many agents find work in their business is to really systematically reach out to your sphere of influence. Sphere of influence is the people group that we call your friends, family, ex-coworkers, people you know from your, your kids' sporting events, um, you know, programs. Maybe it's a club that you're part of. All the people that are in that group, people that know you, who you know you for who you are. It is possible that they knew you before real estate as well, and that's something we're going to deal with today as well. So the first thing is being able to get these people in a group, okay? And a little bit, I want to get into some of the technical parts of it, but really it's being able to identify the people that are in your group called your sphere of influence, and the ones that are not in your sphere of influence. If you look in the book, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, Gary Keller talks about the Mets and the haven't mets. So I will tell you that in your group of Mets, people you have met face to face, there are people that are not in your sphere of influence. So you want to identify those people, and we're going to help you with some systems on how to do that. First thing is getting your phone. We all have a phone, and inside this, your phone is a CRM. There's a contacts manager in here, and your contact management system is by just putting your friends and family and anybody that you know into your phone as a contact. Most people do this. So before real estate, you didn't even know it, but you were building a database inside your phone. So the first step, is we tell people, is take those people and get them out of your phone and into a true CRM, your CRM for real estate. Now, if you're with EXP, we use KV Core. We get that as a member benefit. My opinion, one of the better CRMs out there. There are lots of them. There's Lion Desk, there's Follow Up Boss, there's Top Producer. Some people use Sync or Boomtown as their CRM. Whatever CRM you use, you're going to get them out of there. There's two easy ways that I'm going to share with you today. One is to synchronize your phone with Google. Now, if you use an iPhone, you could put the Google Gmail app on your phone and Google Contacts, and then synchronize the Google Contacts with your iPhone. That'll take everybody that's in your iPhone and move them over to Google Contacts. Then you can synchronize your Google Contacts with your CRM. That's one easy way. There's another program called mcbackup.com. It's free. You can Google it, MC Backup. MC Backup is a program that you will put on your computer. You will connect your phone using a tether cord, a lanyard, or whatever you call that. Getting over a little bit of a cold here, sorry. And you will take your phone, connect it using MC Backup. It's going to pull the contacts out of your phone and put them onto a spreadsheet, a simple Excel spreadsheet. You can then take that Excel spreadsheet and import it into your CRM. Now, I recommend doing this as a dirty spreadsheet, meaning you haven't done any cleaning. But if you wanted to, you could take the spreadsheet from MC Backup and go through it and get rid of anybody that you don't know. But I would encourage you to upload the entire list and reach out to everybody on that list via phone, figuring out who you know and who you don't know, and using a simple test, which I'm going to tell you in a minute, to figure out whether they're in your sphere or not in your sphere. And then you're going to grade them. This is the first step in this process of making sure that nobody you know ever lists a home or buys a home with anybody but you. That's the goal. We call that being a secret agent. That's when somebody in your sphere just doesn't know you're an agent. You're not on their top of mind. So we're going to show you some ways here of creating top of mind awareness so that you occupy all the brain space of this group when it comes to real estate. Okay, so once you've identified whether you're going to do it, now if you have an iPhone versus an Android uses a Google platform, so it is very easy to connect the Google. So you might want to use the Google instead of MC Backup. You can export out of Google a spreadsheet if you'd like, but you don't need to use MC Backup if you've got Google on your phone and you're comfortable using Google. Once you get this entire group into your CRM, I recommend you tagging them before you import them. Tagging them with a simple tag that says cell phone contacts or iPhone contacts or Android contacts. That way you know all of the people that came out of your phone and are now in your CRM, so that you can do what I call a database scrub. And that's when you scrub the list and you go through and you clean it up. Maybe there's people in your phone that you don't have a phone number for, or maybe there's a name and a phone number and no email address, or maybe there's a name and an email address and no phone number. You're going to have all sorts of scenarios. Okay, there are going to be people in this list that you probably don't remember who they are or don't know who they are, because at some point you saved them into your phone. But that's okay. We're going to show you how to clean those up as well. Okay, so the first step is getting them out of your phone into your CRM, and when you import them with a tag. Okay. Next step is you're going to go through and you're going to create an activity in your CRM and assign it to everybody in that group using the tag. And you're going to call this activity a simple task. It's not a follow-up call. It could be a follow-up call if you wanted it to be, but or a connection call, like an initial call, or it could just be a task that says database scrub. Once you have everybody in there, and I like to use database scrub because that's a unique one. That's not one that is going to show up in any campaign. So when I see database scrub on there, I know to get that's part of the ones that I haven't scrubbed yet or cleaned from my list. Okay, we're going to have a process, kind of a triage process with each of the leads, or each of these people in your group. Okay. So once you've assigned a task called the database scrub, you're then going to start at the task. You can assign all the tasks for the same day. It really doesn't matter. I like to use the keep it simple silly or keep it simple stupid principle here. Let's just keep it really simple and just put a task on there, all due for the same date. You're going to then turn around and go into that activity in your task manager, and you're going to begin the process of grading and cleaning up this list, or what I call a database scrub. And that's really simple. It's if you have other areas where you have some of contact information for your friends and family and coworkers, ex-coworkers, because now you're in the real estate business, it could look like an address book. I mean, you could have them written down somewhere. You could have them on another spreadsheet in your computer or on your laptop. You could have them in a program like Send Out Cards, or I'm not going to say Facebook, because Facebook, we're going to talk about Facebook, but we're going to use that in a slightly different way here. If you wanted to incorporate Facebook into your database scrub, you could do that. This is a process that's going to take a little time. And what it looks like is you going contact by contact that you just exported out of your phone and imported into your CRM. It's going to look like you, going down each one and doing this process, this triage process, where you look at it. Okay, I don't have an email address. I do know who John Smith is, and he is somebody in my sphere. Okay. Now, there's a great book called The 7 L's, or the 7 Levels of Communication. It's written by a gentleman by the name of Michael Mayer, and he is a Keller Williams agent, and he's the most referred agent, supposedly the most referred agent in real estate, with over 500 referrals. He wrote a book called The 7 Levels of Communication, 7L. And when you read the book, he has a very specific format or process around his sphere of influence. And it is one of the proven strategies, which is using events to, nurture your sphere of influence. The first strategy is going to be getting that group and identifying the people that are in your sphere and not in your sphere. That's the first strategy. The second strategy is going to be using events to nurture that group, and using campaigns and a process to create top of mind awareness. Okay. And the third strategy is going to be to ask them. Can you believe it? Just ask them. And that's called the magic question. So the third strategy is the magic question, which I got out of the book, The 7 Levels of Communication. So if you read this book, you're going to see that my 3 strategies all have to do with Michael Mayer's proven system called the 7 levels of communication. Okay. And the first strategy is getting them out, getting them into a process, into a system that you can actually see a 10,000 foot view who was in that list and cleaning the list up. So you go to the first contact and you're like, okay, John Smith. I know who John Smith is. He is a ex-coworker. I used to work in the car business, and I'm just going to use some examples here. He used to work in the car business with me. It's been a while since I've talked to John, but you're going to use a test, and as the test for all of these contexts, for you to ask yourself a question. Could I call John up and say, hey, let's go have lunch? If it would be weird, and it would be a little weird, and I feel uncomfortable making that phone call, John probably isn't in my sphere, and he's a Met, but he isn't in my sphere. So if John Smith is a Met but not in my sphere, then I'm going to tag John Smith with a have met, but I'm not going to put the tag on the sphere on John as SOI. Okay, SOI stands for sphere of influence. You can change the tag, but sphere and spell it out if you want. That's fine. The bottom line is you want to tag it if this person is in your sphere. If you've met them but they're not in your sphere, you're going to tag them with just have met, and that's it. Okay, so once you've tagged them, you're going to leave. If you put them in as your sphere of influence, you're going to ask yourself a question. Has John ever referred somebody to me? Have I ever done business with John? Now, if you're new to the real estate business, it's an obvious answer. No, I haven't. But if you've been in business for a while and you're just here to try to clean up your system and make a better system, but you have done some business with your sphere of influence, then you would say, have I done business? Now, in the 7 levels of communication and the grading system I use is there's an A plus, an A, B, a C, and a D. Okay, and it's really simple. We call a D is somebody that you're going to drip on or possibly delete. And this is maybe somebody that maybe they are an agent and they're in your sphere of influence. Then you're going to put them in a D status, a D tag. And we're talking about tags or labels because every CRM has a tag or label. And so that's what you're going to put on there is a label as a D. If they are a C, then this is somebody that is a possible champion, but you don't know. You've never asked them the magic question. So remember, the magic question is the third strategy. So I'm going to go ahead and skip around a little bit in these 3 different strategies. But the third strategy is asking everybody in that group the magic question. And it goes something like this. Hey, John, and this is after you've been on the phone and gotten acquainted again. And you've had some small talk, caught up on old times. Use the Ford principle, the family, occupation, recreation, dreams. And I'll show you how to use that in the structure as well. But then you get into the business, the reason that you're calling. And hey, John, just out of curiosity, I'm calling you for a business reason really as well. I'm not sure if you're aware, but I left the car business and I started a real estate business. And I've been buying and selling real estate since the early 90s. And I'll talk to you about that script. That's a really powerful script when you're talking to your sphere. And so I haven't been new to real estate, but I'm actually representing buyers and sellers and clients and helping them through the process of buying and selling real estate as a real estate agent. And so I'm just out of curious, if you had a friend or a family member or a neighbor that needed a real estate agent, am I the person you would introduce? Do you have a relationship with somebody like this already? And that's the magic question. The magic question is just basically asking them if you're the one. And you could also say right at the end there, listen, it's okay if I'm not the one. It's okay. Just curious. Now, if John tells you you are the one, of course, I don't know anybody else. You are the one I would use, or you know what? I really don't know. I mean, I've never considered you as a real estate agent because I know you from the car business and didn't know that you left the car business and now in real estate. Whatever they say, you're going to grade them. Now, if they tell you that they have a best friend that they've bought and sold 3 or 4 homes with, and that they, it's your his wife's brother who's an agent. You've already bought a few homes with them, and your wife would divorce you if you didn't use them. Then obviously you're going to tag them with a D. You're still going to say hello and keep in touch from a friend standpoint. You're still going to call them and ask them for referrals, but you're not going to expect them to do business with you. And the first strategy is just knowing who will do business with you and who won't, and not being a secret agent. That's what we're accomplishing within the first strategy. Okay. Remember, the second strategy is using events and networking in that group. And the third strategy is making sure you ask everybody the magic question. We can actually flip those around too if you want and put that as a second strategy. It doesn't matter. Okay, so you've asked John Smith the magic question. John Smith tells you you are his guy. Then you're going to put him from a C to a B. C is somebody you haven't asked the question. That's simple. I just haven't asked them. B is I've asked them and they told me I am their guy. D would be if they said I have asked them and I'm not their guy, then they would be a D. A B means they are a champion. Okay. And then we'll get into what A and A plus means. Now, somebody that's actually referred business to you in the last 12 months or attempted to refer business to you is an A. So somebody that's actually done business with you or referred you somebody or attempted to refer you, then they are an A on that label instead of a B. And somebody that has referred you at least 2 people, okay, this is a really close group. This is somebody that you're really close with, best friends per se, somebody that's actually bought a home with you, done business with you, or referred you at least 2 people in the last 12 months. They are in your A plus group. Now, your A plus is a special group. This is not just anybody here that, that's why we've got a pretty strict criteria. They've done 2 pieces of, they've done a business with you. They have and attempted to refer people to you, at least 2 in the last 12 months, or actually referred to in the last 12 months. Then being in that A plus group, they are going to be what we call your board of advisors. Okay. And these are people, this is a pretty tight knit group that you might bounce business ideas off of. You are going to invite to an event. We'll talk about strategy number 2. This is for your A plus group. Okay. This is going to be the person that you do a pop-by gift for. This is your A. There's going to be maybe at the most 30 people and 20 to 30 people in this group. Okay. And if you do a client appreciation event where you book out a restaurant and you invite 20 or 30 people and you bring your lender and your title rep in to be there as friends of yours and business partners as yours, and they would potentially help pay for the dinner, then this is an example of using events to nurture that group. Okay. So it looks like labeling everybody, getting them out of your phone, labeling them, and then going through and doing the database scrub activity for everybody in that group and making notes who they are. When you find somebody you don't know who it is, leave them in your database, but they don't get a have met. Those are haven't met. If you can not place where you know this person from, chances are you probably haven't met them. So go ahead and label them a haven't met. Put a note in the CRM that says, hey, this person came out of my phone. I don't remember who they are. And I'm going to go ahead and call them and just introduce myself and see if I can figure out who they are. Leave that note, move on to the next person. Remember here, we're labeling everybody that meets the test that you could pick up the phone and say, hey, let's go have lunch. If it wouldn't be weird, those are your sphere of influence. Now you're going to have 2 groups in your sphere of influence. You're going to have local SOI and SOI OOA, which is out of area. You can label them something different if you want, but this is just what I use. If somebody lives in a different state, then they're still in my SOI, they're SOI OOA. And I put that tag right on there. If they're in my sphere here locally, then it's just SOI. So in that triage process, I'm going through. Now, if you want to make a phone call to your sphere right there in the moment while you're doing your database scrub, you can absolutely do that. In fact, I'd recommend it. And then just basically the structure of that conversation is the first 50% of the call is going to be Ford, family, occupation, recreation, dreams. You're just going to be hey, John, it's been a while since we've talked. How's the family? How's work? I'm not in the car business anymore. I'm working in real estate. Did you take any trips, or do you have any trips planned for this summer? And then the dreams is just curious, do you own your own home now? If you're a renter, do you have any dream of owning a home? What do you have any big plans for you or the family in the coming year? And then that's the first 50% of the conversation. The second 50%, you're going to create a pivot. And the one I like to use is, hey, John, while I got you on the phone, can I ask you a business question? And they're going to say yes. And you're going to go into a business pitch. And that pitch is basically asking them the magic question. So that's the formula. That's the success formula for your sphere. If you do this with everybody in your database, you label everybody your sphere, and you clearly, distinctly know the difference between sphere of influence and somebody else, and whose sphere of influence out of the area, and you communicate with them once every 3 months by phone and follow a 33 touch plan. If you want to know more about the 33 touch, go to the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. That's a book you can find on Barnes & Noble, Amazon. It's a book Gary Keller wrote back in the late 90s or late 80s. Excellent book. And the 33 touch, the reason it's called the 33 touch is if you touch somebody in your sphere, whether it be a birthday card, a Christmas card, 4 phone calls a year, 4 text messages a year, 12 newsletters each month, 1 month each year, and then putting them on a market watch for their home that they own, or in an area that they live in that they want to buy in, having them on a property alert email or a market watch email. That's an additional 12 touches. That's 24 touches plus the 4 phone calls. That's 28 touches plus the 4 texts. That's 32 touches plus a Christmas card. That is a 33 touch plan. You can learn more how to build one in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. Okay. So using part of the 7 levels of communication, the book that John Mayer wrote, he talks about using lunches, inviting your sphere of influence out to lunch. Okay. And doing it as a form of a network stack where you actually have a restaurant that's close by your home that you go to, that you have one lunch appointment at 11:30, you have another one at 12:30, you have another one at 1:30, and another one at 2:30. You can stack up lunches to where you actually are meeting, 2 and 3 and 5 people, 2 or 3 people a day. Do that a couple days a week. You can easily have lunch with your entire sphere of influence if you wanted to, by stacking them in a form of a networking stack. And he teaches you this strategy in the 7 levels of communication. But definitely the second strategy is using lunches and events to gain a deeper relationship with your sphere. And the client appreciation events for your top 30, and having lunch with everybody in your sphere, these are the ways that you're going to get face-to-face contact with your sphere. Calling them up, hey, let's go have lunch, and not making about business, leading with a lunch, just so that you could really, get to know your people at a deeper level. Okay. And the third strategy, we talked about that one already, which is asking the magic question. Everybody in your sphere, you've got to ask the question, and then using the grading system in your database scrub to do that. Now, once you've built a 33 touch plan out and you've got your entire sphere on that plan, you're going to stagger that so that you're not responsible for calling all of them. If you've got 2 or 3 or 4, all you need is 250 people in this group. If you can get to 250 people, that's what I had when I first started. You'll sell over 30 homes, 20, 25 homes a year once you've saturated top of mind awareness. Now, you'll read in the book, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, that there's actually a formula. And I'm going to go ahead and do the formula real quick. Just noticed I've got Olivia and Cheetah on Clubhouse. If you guys have any questions, raise your hand. I'd love to invite you up on stage and handle any questions that you might have. You guys can also call in and talk to me after hours or live while we're on the show, 818-338-8787. But real quick, if you took your entire sphere of 250 people and the ratio is 12, for every 12 people in that group, you should do two pieces of business over the next 12 months. Now, it may take you 2 or 3 years to get saturated to that point, but that's the ratio, 12 to 2. So if you take 250 people and you divide it by 12, that's 20 pieces of business out of that people group if you have 250 people in that group. And that's if you use the 33 touch. And that's if you ask everybody the magic question. So when you ask them the magic question, you're grading them. In that database scrub, you're calling them. And when you get a hold of them, you're putting them on that 33 touch plan, which could mean you could be sending newsletters from a different system, and that's okay. But the market watch, when you got them on the phone, you got to ask them, do you own your home? Would it be helpful if you had an email that came from me once a month that showed you your home's value? How helpful would that be? If you don't own a home, where would you like to move? If you were going to move, if you were going to buy a home, and I know you're not buying a home right now, but if you were, where would you like to move? I could send you some properties in that area once a month so you could keep an eye on the homes in that area and what they're selling for. How helpful would that be? So these are some of the questions. When can we go have lunch? Setting up your event, figuring out which day each week you're going to be able to have lunch with people and going out of your way to take them to lunch. So I need to cut it short today. It's about 2:30 right now. Keep this at a half hour. I hope these 3 strategies help you. I can guarantee you they've helped me over the years of not being a secret agent and staying in front of my sphere of influence, being top of mind awareness all the time, and creating massive business from the people you know, as well as adding other strategies to do that. So welcome to the show. Come back tomorrow at 2 p.m. We'll be live and we'll be here throughout the week. Share, please go on some of our channels and like and share and comment if you like, and what topics you want me to talk about. I'm here for you. Have a great start to your week, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.